We have been solving equations and inequalities. So now we are going to look at how words can translate into math, and we can solve word problems that deal with equations and inequalities. So we are going to fold this kind of like a trifold. So watch how I fold it. I'm going to flip this over. Then I'm going to take this side and fold it over so I include the whole table that's on here. So I'm kind of folding it like a brochure. And then I'm going to flip this back over like that and fold this over on top of that last little third of the paper. If you need help, ask someone at your table to help you. So I just flipped it over and folded it like that. So now I should have creases like this, where it folds onto itself. The front part needs to be the little chart that has the add, subtract, multiply, divide. So this chart is representing operations. So right on the top, operations. And highlight each of the operations. So add, subtract. So these two columns deal with just adding and subtracting. And then these two sections deal with multiplying, dividing, and then we have parentheses, and then our turnaround words. So you've seen these probably since 6th grade, maybe even prior to that. So this is a review. So I'm going to give you 1 full minute to read through these, and then we are going to move on. So read through it on your own. Okay, so hopefully you recall these words. So one that kind of sticks out to me is the parentheses. The quantity, twice the sum, plus the difference, times the difference of. So the quantity, let's say the quantity of 2 times x plus 5. So you're saying 2x is what's in parentheses and then plus 5. Twice the sum. So let's say it's twice the sum of 6 and x. I'm just writing an example there. Twice the sum of 6 and x means we are multiplying 2 times the whole sum. Not 2 times 6 and not 2 times x. It is twice the sum. So that means it's going to be 2 parentheses 6 plus x. Plus the difference of. and then times the difference of. Turnaround words are other ones that are important. So 6 less or more than x. So if I say 6 less than x, then I'd have to flip that around. That's saying I'm taking 6 away from x. So that's why this is x minus 6. And we'll do some more examples in a little bit. So let's go to the next page. So the first column, the first page was all about operations. How to translate words into operations. That's right, multiply, divide. The next one is dealing with equations and inequalities. So you are comparing two sets of numbers or two expressions. I'm going to put on here equations and inequalities. I'm going to write use. So these words are used to compare two numbers or two expressions. So equations and inequalities, you're comparing. So let's highlight these. So we have the equals, is equal to, is, are, were, will be, and yields. Not equal to, is not equal to, is not the same as, is different from. Greater than, is greater than, is more than, exceeds, is over, is above, is larger than, is longer than, is higher than. So this is not all the words. This is just a portion of them, the most used. Less than, is under, is fewer than, is smaller than, is below, is shorter than, is beneath, is lower than. Greater than or equal to, is greater than, is at least, is not less than, is not under, has minimum value, is more than or equal to. Then less than, is less than or equal to, is at most, is greater than, does not exceed, has a maximum value, is no more than. So is there a word that you see in almost all of these? Is. So is tells us that it's not an operation. Is tells us we are going to compare. So this is our key word for equation or inequality. So some of these are the same. If I look at subtracted, see how it says less than? But the difference here is this says is less than. So pay attention to that. And then fewer than. If I say 5 fewer than 6, that's different from saying 5 is fewer than 6. So just pay attention to if it has that word is. Okay, the turnaround words are what I want to talk about next. So up at the top on this last little part of our brochure, Well, turn around and parentheses. I want to give some more direction on. I'm going to write 2 less than 16 is x. Two less than 16. So if I say I have 2 less than $16, do I say 2 minus 16?
No, you say 14.
Yeah, I say it equals 14, right? And the way you get that is saying 16 minus 2, and then see the word is equals x. So a lot of times you can think about it in terms of money, and it makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. With me, it does. I don't know. Okay, let's look at another one. 12 subtracted from x is 30. So the balance of my checking account, if I say 12 subtracted from the balance of my checking account is 30. So 12 subtracted from x. So the word from is kind of a clue that we are taking it from x. So I have x and I'm subtracting 12 and I get 30. X fewer than 9 is greater than 20. So x fewer than 9. So that means I have 9. And I'm going to take x away from it. So that's that turnaround. So x minus 9 is greater than 20. Did I flip those around? Nope. X fewer than 9. So that means I have 9 and I take x away. Okay, then the last turnaround word I'm going to do is 6 divided into 24 is x. So I'm dividing it into 24. So that's a turnaround word. So I'm taking 24, dividing it by 6, and that equals x. And then we'll do one of the parentheses ones. Five times the difference of x and 2 is less than 24. So if it says 5 times the difference, I'm not multiplying 5 times some number. I'm multiplying times the difference. So the difference is of x and 2. So I'm going to put parentheses around the difference of x and 2. So that's 5 times the difference of x and 2 is 24. Is less than 24. Let's look at the next foldable that we're going to do. So we are writing equations and inequalities from words. Describe the difference in a word problem that is written for an equation and a word problem that's written for inequality. So how do you know, if you're given a word problem, how do you know that you're going to have an equation versus an inequality? So talk to your group about it. So with an equation, it's just asking for one specific number. That's what we're going to write. An equation word problem asks for one specific solution. So, how many days did it take to fill up the pool? That's for one specific solution. But an inequality would ask for a range of answers. An inequality So going back to the filling up the pool, well, it depends on how many hoses you got going and also how the water pressure is. So it'll take at least 1 day. It'll take no more than 3 days. So it would be a range of solutions. The vocabulary activity. We are going to match the symbols with the word phrases by writing I'm not going to have you write the letter. Instead, I'm going to have you write the symbol in the blank. Symbols can be used more than once. So we're not even going to worry about A, B, C, D, E. I think it's better, especially as we're going through problems, is we can use these symbols and look back. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to fill this in. Hopefully you've had enough time to look back at your notes to determine what the symbols are. So we're going to go through these pretty fast. So I want y'all to stay quiet. Has a result of equals. At least would be greater than or equal to. A maximum of, less than or equal to. At most, less than or equal to. No, at most. It's at most $15, less than or equal to. Yes. Equals, below, less than, above, greater than, minimum of, greater than or equal to. Less than, greater than, is, equals, is no more than, so that means it has to be less than or equal to, is greater than or equal to, no less than $15. So that means it would have to be greater than or equal to. So if you think back as you're thinking these and say them in your head and use money, that usually helps me understand it better if I use money. So you are going to work with your table groups to do any 3 of these problems. Then tomorrow we will check your work and make sure you have all 4 completed. You are going to follow the steps though. So you're going to write your variable. You get to decide. Is your variable X? Is it A? Is it B? And also, what does it describe? Decide whether it's an equation or inequality by circling the equation inequality. Write and solve your equation, and then write your answer in words. So this is what you're going to do the rest of the class period. This should say 4. I don't know what it says. There we go. So you need to do at least 3 out of the 4 problems before class tomorrow.
I thought we were only doing 1.